The response was again yes by many of the co-explorers. So we put a tick mark there also. But when the question came, whether the other wants to make me happy, then the response was mixed response. So that's why we put a question mark here. There is a suspicion on this intention part. There is a suspicion on this natural acceptance part. So that is where we start exploring regarding what is trust. Then we have discussed about the 4 questions regarding competence also in the last Wednesday. Ability part. I'm able to make myself always happy. So we are not sure about this. That was what we have explored last Wednesday. So there is a suspicion regarding this. Not surety about this. So put a question mark there. And second question, I'm able to make the other always happy. When I am not sure about myself, I am not sure about the other also. Question mark there. The other is able to make herself or himself always happy. There also we have a suspicion. Put a question mark there. And this 4B, the other is able to make me always happy. So here I have already a question mark on the intention part. So the competence part, we have a double question mark. So this is where we stopped in the last Wednesday's meeting. We are exploring this trust part. So is there any questions or sharing regarding this much part of the content before we proceed further in today's meeting? Many of you have been given the mic, so you can respond with the mic. You can also use the chat box. So we have been through this introductory workshop. Maybe the teachers would have been through UHV workshop also. Yeah. The mic was on for somebody. Srinivas Gupta ji. Bhaiya, you have a sharing or question? Okay. So for the teachers, we would have passed through this introductory UHV workshop or UHV 2. For the students, they would have come through UHV 1 workshop. So this content has been shared over there. Now what we share here is the content in the UHV 1 only. Yes, Jagdish PU Paya, namaste. You raised your hand.
Namaste, Bhaiya. Just a quick question. Just for refresher kind of a thing.
Your voice breaks.
Third part of it, which is the about part, the other want to make himself or herself happy. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, now it is all right.
Hello?
You're asking about, yeah, now it is all right.
Okay,
yeah, please continue. Please continue.
No, I was just trying to say the other is able to make herself or himself happy, or the other is able to make me always happy. These are the 2 questions in reference to the competence. But without talking to somebody, without knowing their state of mind or what is that they are going through, how do we interpret their intention is the question.
Yeah, this is a conversation between me and another person. So we started with that. So between me and another person. So this is an exercise which I can do with my close friend, first of all, or a close relative. So after asking to him or her, I can put a yes or no to these questions.
But they would not just open up just like that, right? Like we do not know the hidden agenda or hidden meaning, what their intention is. So in that sense, what could be an ideal way of understanding the competence? Because the intention could be right, but intention could also be wrong.
Yeah, this is where we have to understand trust. What is the intention part and why they are having this not responding in the right way. I would say just like that. So whatever be the response, we can take it as such, and then we can take it forward. Even if we ask the questions, the same questions in the workshop, we may get mixed response. It is not that everyone is going to say, even for the first question, 1A, I want to make myself happy. Everyone may not say that I want to make myself happy. Somebody say no also. This is there. So understanding regarding this intention and competence is very important. So before understanding the intentional competence, we put the question. So whatever I have, whatever information I have regarding this intention and competence, I can respond to the question just like that. So there may be some responses regarding my own intention that no, I don't want to be happy. This is, I mean, I have experienced this response from one of the students when I conducted this workshop in an SIP. So like that, the clarity regarding intention and competence have to be there. So whatever be the response, this is fine. Then we will try to help them explore the real meaning of intention and competence through evaluation of these responses. But what we can see in a workshop is that mostly like more than 80% of the responses for 1A, 2A, and 3A, that is yes only. That is why we put tick mark over there. Just 1 second. Yeah. Hope I'm audible to you because there was a disturbance in between my system. Now this is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Now regarding the competence part also, there may be confusion. So what we try to do from here is evaluation of these responses. Like I said, more than 80% responses for 1A to 3A may be yes, that's why we put tick mark there. But to 4A, because the intention of the other is not seen very clearly, less than 40% responses will be yes, and more than 60% will be no. That's why we put a question mark there. Regarding the competence, there also clarity regarding the competence may not be there. Many times the intention and competence are mixed up. Yeah, so this analysis or this evaluation will be done after asking these questions and getting some response. So to start with, we require these responses with whatever meaning we attach to this intention and competence. Yeah, Jagdish Bhaiya, we can start with this and then we can discuss about this intentional competence part. Yes.
Yes, Bhaiya. The only question I had was because if these are the ones, these are the words which have been heard for the first time.
Yeah, the voice breaks. The voice is now lagging now.
Group to whoever the group could be of the age of whatever age they could be of, interpret it or the meaning they associate with that. So in that way, the meaning which is associated could be different by the different groups of people to which this goes, right? So do we have to really look at the audience also to whom this is asked?
No, the age doesn't matter. So let them attach any meaning to this intention and competence word. Let them respond. That is fine. So people of different age groups may be having their own interpretation. That's fine. But the meaning of intention and competence is like we can put it as a reality later. What is intention? What do we mean by intention? What do we mean by competence? So when you say different age groups, the level of this preconditioning and sensation, that is getting them to attach some meaning to this word of intention and competence. This is fine. We also have various levels of preconditioning or sensation. So we attach different meanings to different words. That is perfectly all right. At our current level of competence, current level of exploration, we will be having different meanings for different words. Even to this meaning of relationship, we will be attaching some meaning to that. That is fine. So we start with these questions and then, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Girish Chandran ji, namaste. Your hand is raised.
Namaste, Sunil ji. Actually, one small question. Actually, this you might have covered it earlier also. Actually, someone may come and tell you that I trust you, right? And then what may happen is we may be actually thinking that he's actually believing you. So normally this will be actually a difference of understanding in the other person also, because they may not be knowing trust in the real meaning. So what normally happens is how can you distinguish this trust and belief? Because this always gives to some amount of ambiguity. Even when students are asking, or even if some others are coming and asking, how we can differentiate these two, like trust and belief. Can you just clarify a bit on?
In fact, yeah, we will come to that. For this, as far as the session is concerned, we didn't come to that level. But anyway, we have attended the workshops, so I can just say very briefly regarding that. Belief, many times what happens is this is without verification. That may be based on preconditionings or sensations. Somebody said something, so I believe. So this is in my society, it is like that, so I believe so. I go by that. But trust, we have this verification part. So we say finally the trust is trust on intention. So we can verify for me, first of all, that my intention, is it true for me, or is it right for me or not? I can see that my intention is very pure. And as we are going to see now, the evaluation part, if I evaluate myself on the basis of my intention, but I cannot see the intention of the other. I evaluate the other on the basis of their competence. So this part is to be very clear regarding trust. So we can verify this. First of all, I can verify for myself, and I can verify for the other also then that the intention of the other is also right for me. So this is what we are going to see in the session, but because it is a recap session or a follow-up session, I can just say this. Yeah, so verification part is there in this trust, but in belief, it may not be there. May be there or may not be there. So beliefs are largely based on preconditionings or sensation. That is what I can explore from right now and say. Will that be all right, Girishji?
Yeah, that part is fine, because normally what happens is this verification part, right? That actually we, from the UHV point of view, we know that it is based on the natural acceptance, and that natural acceptance is common for every human being. But normally when it is coming to the belief, because the preconditioning always comes in a big way, because they may not even able to distinguish what is the preconditioning and what is natural acceptance. That itself will be going for a big what do you call a confusion if it is going into subtler matters. I'm not talking about happiness or prosperity in that way. If you're going to subtler things, this preconditioning and also natural acceptance may come in a confusion. Say, for example, many of the things what we are following from our grandmother's day, because many of the things are normally taken granted because of various cultural or various belief system, and that is so deep rooted that actually a particular culture of people will always believe that this is my natural acceptance. But if you are coming out of that culture and ask someone else, they may not even heard about such a phenomenon. So this part actually, when you are actually going for a small group and when we are discussing it, this may actually lead to the confusion. So what normally happens is this belief, when it is based on preconditioning or sensation, we are actually leading to a some sort of ambiguity there, right? So that is where that is what I am always finding it as a small concern in that part. But anyway, we can always clarify them, telling that okay, this is your belief system, and then we can leave it open. But ultimately, they may think and mislead trust and belief, and then it will lead to much more complexity later when you are going to explore further. So the major concern, what I personally feel is when you are just looking for only preconditioning and sensation for belief, it may not be just sufficient. That's what I personally feel like. But still, I need to explore that further. I'm not quite adequate with that part. Thank you.
Yes, everyone is having this potential for self-exploration. And if I do not explore and just believe whatever I see in front of me, this becomes my acceptance. That is there. There are several acceptances in several societies. But when I explore for myself what is right for me, what is not right for me, sometimes I can see that my acceptance is a natural acceptance. Sometimes I may see that my acceptance is not a natural acceptance. So what is my natural acceptance is to be happy, to be prosperous, Ultimately, this is my basic aspiration. When it boils down to the basic aspiration, it is that. So a feeling of a relationship is there in that. The right assessment of physical facility is also part of this prosperity. You have seen that. So for this, what is required is self-exploration, and the content of UHV is helping us to self-explore and see whether our acceptances, which we had acquired due to our accumulated sanskar, is this our acceptance or natural acceptance? So this possibility is there for us to self-explore. So what is required here is self-exploration, and that's what is the entire process of.
Actually, the only thing to clarify what I said earlier, I can give a very small example. Maybe if you're going back to maybe 17th century and asking the question that Earth is the center of universe or Sun is the center of universe. Naturally, what is going to happen is everyone is telling that Earth is center of universe and everything is revolving around Earth. And maybe later only it was actually proved. So this sort of issues always come, because even in the case of natural acceptance. That's what I was coming up. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. So this is at the level of material. Even the science changes. Even now, there are several things which we believe right now may change later also. Anyway, that's a nice point to ponder upon. Thank you. Thank you, Girishji. If we continue, so we asked these 4 questions of intention and the 4 questions of competence, and we have grouped them also into 2 boxes. That part is also, yeah, this is also what we have covered in the previous Wednesday's meeting, where the left top box refers to my natural acceptance. That refers to me, natural acceptance of me. I want to make myself happy and I want to make the other happy. Whereas the bottom, right bottom box, the 2 questions, 3B and 4B, the other is able to make herself or himself always happy. The other is able to make me always happy. These 2 belong to the competence of the other. Now here comes the role of evaluation. How do we evaluate? How do I evaluate myself? How do I evaluate the other? So to exemplify this, we go into this example, breaking the glass. So when the glass is broken from my side, I say the glass broke accidentally. When the glass is broken from the side of the other, we say the other broke the glass. Are we able to see this, that when this incident of breaking of a glass happens from my side, I never doubt my intention. I say that this is just an accident. But when it happens with the other, do we always say that it is an accident, or do we say that the other broke the glass? What do we say? Do we say, for me, that Girish is telling, depends upon the situation. Is it depend upon people also? Sometimes. Shashikant Bhaiya is telling, yes, yeah. Not to me, Girishji, yeah. Yeah, we can explore within and say, what do I say when say something which is very close to me, a fragile material which is very close to me. I have a feeling of a relationship for that particular object, let's say, and now it is broken somehow from the other person's side. So what do I say? The other broke the glass, or this is an accident? So something which is very close to me is now broken. If it is happening from my side, do I say the glass broke accidentally? And if it is happening from the other person's side, do we say the other broke the glass? Another example is given here, getting late. I got late again, such a heavy traffic. I complain regarding the traffic. But when the other person is getting late, maybe my student, or maybe my colleague or my subordinate, or maybe a staff member, another staff member of the college, do I say that the other is a born latecomer, or at least we say that the other is late? We say the other is late, and when we say the other is late, this purposefully late is automatically implied over there. Or do I say that the other is late because of heavy traffic? So this is there for us to explore in every situation. So as the messages in the chat box, I can see that sometimes depending upon situation, Girish is telling, in fact, it is part of discipline. Kavita ji is telling, we may also say this if it is a repetitive behavior. Yeah. So if it is a repetitive behavior, we have to find out the reason why repeatedly this is happening. The student is coming late to the class repeatedly. And how can I help the student? So do we think in that way, or do we blame the student for coming late to the class repeatedly? This is to explore regarding trust. Yeah, we can see if it is depending upon, as Girish said, is it depending upon situation? Is it depending upon persons? Or sometimes for the same person, we say that this is accident, and in some other time we say this is purposeful. We can observe within ourselves. And what about me? Do I say, depending upon situation, that the glass is broken accidentally, and some other situation, do I also say that I broke the glass purposefully? Or in all situations, I say that the glass is broken accidentally? When I am late, do I find a reason all the time, or do I say that I made a mistake? That I could have come early, I could have departed early so that I could have reached early. Yeah, so whatever I'm telling is not to confuse you, but to explore within. Yeah, Girish is typing. We can say people saying sorry. Yeah, I can. So am I able to see my own competence also here? Raghunathji, namaste. You have to say something. You want to say something, Raghunathji? Your hand is raised. Meanwhile, Jagadish PV is typing in the chat box. If to maintain discipline in a class, initial reaction is objection before checking on competence. Srinivas Gupta ji is typing, depends on understanding I have on the other person. I will have an answer. Yeah, understanding on what? Understanding of the competence part?
If regular interacts with that person, student also, anybody, he is so reluctant and lazy or so and so, definitely we will say intentionally he is coming late. If he is very sincere and maintaining discipline, and if he is unable to come, we can take it as positively, and because of some genuine reason he is unable to come late. So we can take it like that, in general.
Yeah, there may be some reason. The reason may be also that he is not interested in the classes. This also can be a reason.
Yeah, that may also be reason.
Yeah. So I can find out that. I can find out this incompetence in him, incompetence in me also, because when I take the class, if he is late always, I also have some incompetence. I may have to
whatever type of mentality, we need to understand psychology of the student, and we need to try to help him to change his behavior.
Yes. So we have to sit with him, find out what is the reason. That's the first thing. Understanding part. Very nice.
Yes.
Understanding of competence part of me as well as a student. Nice. Yeah. Ji, Ranganaji, our Ji, your mic
Please,
is
sir.
unmute.
I
Now
could
your voice is
respond
coming.
early. Yes, yes, sir. I have long felt desire to ask a question, sir. In spite of right thinking in oneself, still they go the other way in evaluating the person. They consider the position, designation, status of other persons, in spite of knowing their physical facility and all these things. That is what I have been observing. Because what you have said, just said, ego, inferiority complex also playing a role, what I understood. Yeah, that is why, in spite of the person who is reasonable in thinking, still he goes in the wrong way in evaluating the other person, taking, considering the status, might be financial position, riches, and other things. There I would like to train my people around me who are victims of these. They have right thinking, sir, what I understood. But somehow, somewhere, there's some minus point in there. There might be ego or inferiority complex.
Yes.
That is, could you
Why
please?
is it happening? Why is it happening? This ego or inferiority complex.
Yes.
Why is it happening? What is the reason for that?
Yes, sir.
They are outcomes of something, right?
Right. Yes.
We when we discuss about this right evaluation part, we also discussed about this ego depression. Right?
Yes. Plus frustration also, sir.
Yeah. These are all feelings which are not naturally acceptable.
Yes, yes.
When we discuss about respect, we can explore much further in this, but it is because of over-evaluation, people go into this ego state.
Yes.
Self, every evaluation of self. This is the reason.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Some other people also would have over-evaluated them. That may be a reason. So,
yes, sir. Yes, I my people, first you evaluate yourself whether you are right side or wrong side before going for evaluating other person also. Still they say there's somewhere something lurking negatively. That I would like to, I have been trying to change their minds. But I'm very happy to see my people to whom I teach, a lot of change has been there. Yes, sir.
And the first thing which we require, as we discussed in this relationship part, is to have this trust on intention. That's what we are discussing right now, right?
Yes, sir.
And then
yes,
on the basis of that only, we can speak about this right evaluation part.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Then this ego, inferiority complex, all this.
Yes,
if you rightly understand what is the right evaluation part, and if you evaluate yourself rightly, if we ensure these feelings within, then this kind of feelings which are not naturally acceptable, ego, inferiority complex or depression, will not be there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have been trying. I hope I succeed in changing their minds. I'm a little bit busy with the translation, sir. Thank you for that.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, so if this is our exploration, that is, in the case of myself, I say that this is happening accidentally when I broke something or when I got late. This is accidentally happening. But in the case of the other broke the glass or the other is a born latecomer. So this evaluation is there with me. Then this is because I consider myself as special. I never doubt my intention. I reinforce that I'm good. I do not make mistakes. And I even do not make effort to improve my own competence. So this is something we can relate to this ego part, as Ranganaji is telling. If I'm not ready to make effort to improve my competence, then I think that I'm good always. That is my over-evaluation part. So we come to that later. So, but regarding the other, what I would evaluate is possibly this. If the other makes a mistake even once, I doubt his or her intention. He or she makes mistakes intentionally. I have a feeling of opposition, irritation, angry, etc. I reinforce that the other is bad and cannot improve. So This may be something which we can see from the outset. Yeah, there are a few questions I can see in the chat box from Jagadish PVG in reference to advertising about course or college. Do we need to observe intention or competence? Of course, yes. If there is advertisement, it is my responsibility to see what is the competence of that institution and what is the competence which I can develop through undergoing that course, studying in that particular college. This is my responsibility. Yeah, in the advertisement, there may be several things, but there are several ways in which I can evaluate this rightly. If so, how? We are not directly taking initially. Yeah, that's what I was trying to just explore. As food skills, we have to trust someone for something. Yeah. So food or skills, we have to trust someone. This is so in the trust is at the level of feeling, and skill is different from feeling, and food is also a material thing. It's a physical facility, not coming in part of as part of feelings. Yeah, when you say regarding the quality of food and quality of skills, that's what we are speaking about. Then of course, yes. For that also, we have to make this right evaluation of the person who is making the food and of the maybe if it's a restaurant or the kitchen, we have to have this right evaluation. So we'll come to that in detail later after we explore regarding this trust in detail. Anyway, these questions are very relevant. Girish is typing. Another possibility is breaking glass is naturally acceptable to me as it is born to break. Is it so? Is it born to break? We made a material and then it is broken. Is it like that? So the material is prepared for some purpose. And if it is broken, the purpose is not served. So if you can use it appropriately, or if you can use it with utmost precision, this may not break. That is depending upon my skill. It is depending upon my competence rather. But it may happen accidentally that because it is a fragile material, it may break. And I can see that this may be because of my lack of competence that I accidentally put my hand into that. But I can also would have avoided that. Like an example which is quoted by one of the participants in one of the workshops. So one of the teachers was sharing on the second day of a workshop that the previous day night, his mobile phone, he was talking in the mobile phone, and his son, who is very young, like studying in the 3rd standard. So he was just waving his hand. The son was waving his hand just for nothing, just he was waving, he's just playing. And when the teacher or the father, he tried to put his mobile back in place, this son's hand hit accidentally with the father's hand and the mobile fell down. Now the father was telling on that day in his sharing that had it been before this discussion of this content of UHV, I would have scolded him immediately. But then I thought regarding my relationship with my son, and I did not say anything to him. When he picked up the mobile, he saw that the mobile is broken. One corner of that is broken. But he just checked whether it is working or not. The mobile is working, but only a corner of that is broken. He could repair that later. So the son was surprised. That is the crux of the story. The son was surprised and he asked after some time, "Father, did I break your mobile phone or did you break it yourself?" That was a question. So son was actually confused because the behavior of the father has changed and the father is not scolding. So he was confused whether the father himself has put the phone on the floor and broke it. So the son is also exploring. Now here the behavior of the father changed because of this influence of the discussion on relationship the other day. he did not doubt the intention of the child, and even he did not speak anything to the child also. This is there. Yeah, I will just put the example to depict the change of behavior after having this discussion on trust or some other proposals of this UHV. Yes. So yeah. Jagdish ji is typing in the chat box. Unintentionally, relationship may also break. How to improve competence, to patch up, to build relationship. As the relationship has struggled, extremely help is suggested by any other solution. So unintentionally, relationship may also break. Are we able to see that? So when we discuss about this relationship in the beginning, we put 4 proposals. The first one is very important regarding relationship. That is, the relationship is there between oneself for the other self. We don't need to create it. So seeing that is the first and foremost and very important step in relationship. So we may be able to see that between myself and somebody who is very close to me, maybe my close relative or close friend. But with regard to another person, it may be a bit difficult for me to see that. That is why we discuss about this whole content of relationship, the feelings part in that, starting from trust to love. So breaking of relationship, if it is there, I can see, what is my feeling when this feelings are not all right. So when I say a relationship is broken, this is also resulting in feelings which are not naturally acceptable within me. If that is the case, I can check within whether the feelings are naturally acceptable or not. And it is my responsibility to set my feelings all right, naturally acceptable. Yeah, how to improve competence is what we have been discussing in the whole content of UHV. I'm trying to improve my competence so that the full human potential is developed, so that I can see happiness is to be in a state of harmony, and I can have this continuity of happiness. Development of right understanding is full development of my competence. To improve competence, we will discuss that in detail in the next session regarding when we discuss about this right evaluation, that is respect. We can come to that in detail. Girishji has raised his hand. Any question, Girishji?
It's not a question. It's actually small, something like a bit to share, in fact. Because if you see now, if you're taking one example like this, or if you connect like that, means sometimes it can lead to ambiguity. Because what I'm adding is some amount of confusion into this. That's what I'm looking like. Because anyway, this part is very clear because we have already explored this many times. But the question is something like this, because sometimes what may happen is even in the movie Tal, if you have seen this, I actually forgot the actor's name. Actually, he is actually taking the glass and throwing on the floor multiple times to get attention or to prove something else. And that is actually his intention, is to prove that he can also make a better voice or better stand against the other person, to prove that. But sometimes we may be angry, and to show the angry, you can throw it and show that yes, I am angry by throwing a glass down. And maybe in another instant, we can tell that, okay, I want an attention because a child is playing and he's not getting attention from mother or father. They're talking to the relatives or guests who has come. You want attention, what you will do, you'll take a glass and throw it, or maybe throw something on the TV. All these things they will do to get attention. It is so here actually it is not accidental. It is not intentional also, because they want something else, so they want to divert the attention. So this sort of things now, it is again subtle, because what is going to happen is an incident can be looked upon the situation, not just by the people. That's what I'm doing.
So these incidences are expressions outside. There's a purpose for this incident. As you said, there's a purpose for these incidences. Maybe to seek attention, to get noticed, to show some emotions, right? So the people who are actually depicting, or rather expressing these kind of external expressions. They can see within whether the feelings within are all right, whether the feelings are actually being depicted, and if the feelings are naturally acceptable. That is what we are just working in. Even for me also, the feelings are not naturally acceptable always. So I have to work upon that. That the other is doing this because of lack of competence, and this action is an expression outside. And for getting attention, there are maybe other ways I can just explore like this also. But anyway, we will. These are questions which are supposed to be responded after the discussion on respect also. We will come to that in detail later. Let us try to see this trust with much more clarity right now. Anyway, that is a nice point, Girishji. Nice sharing. Thank you. Right. So what we discussed here is this doubt on intention. Many times, as Jagadish is also typing in the chat box, the breakage of relationship is mostly because of this doubt on intention. Are we able to see that? Major reason, I won't say this is the only reason, the major reason for problems in a relationship, maybe the breakage of the relationship, is doubt on intention. I can see for myself that whatever I am doing is right, whatever my intention is very pure, but when I see for the other, what I see is his competence as his intention, his ability part as his intention. The glass is broken. I say the other broke the glass purposefully. His intention was to break the glass. So are we able to see that this is a major reason for problems in a relationship? And we have to work upon that. I have to work upon that rather. Yes, Mamtaji. So we can work upon this. For me also, this is very important. And I can also see for you how this is. So now this common mistakes in a relationship, as we discussed just now, I evaluate myself on the basis of my intention. I can see that my intention is always right. I never make mistakes. I never intended to break the glass. I never intended to come late. I want to make myself happy. I want to make the other happy. This is my intention. So I evaluate myself on the basis of this intention. But when I evaluate the other, I may look at the competence part. That the other is not able to make himself or herself happy, and the other is not able to make me always happy. So this part I look at as his intention. As if this is, this lack of competence is, I think that is his intention. So I doubt their intention. I assume their lack of competence to be their lack of intention. So this is creating opposition towards the other, irritation towards the other, angry towards the other. I may not speak to the other for days or even break up this relationship. That is what is being mentioned in the chat box by Jagdishji also. So we put an example here that in one of the workshops, a student was sharing on this, after the discussion on trust, the student was sharing that the previous day, the trust was discussed in the workshop. So I was going to the mess hall and I saw one of my friends who was rushing towards the mess hall. So I greeted him, good evening, but he did not respond back. So then there are several thoughts which passed on in myself. I thought that he had a feeling of opposition towards me. That is why he did not greet back. So I thought not to speak to him. But then I evaluated my thoughts. I thought that the discussion on trust was there in the session today. Why can't I have a meeting with him and discuss what has happened? So the night I went to his room after the dinner and I discussed with him what happened when I greeted you. Why didn't you greet me back? He was surprised and he replied that, oh, I didn't notice that you greet me at that time. I was rushing towards the mess hall because my wallet, my purse was there with some money. So my whole attention was upon that only. So I did not realize what is happening around. So this may happen, right? So unless the student has discussed with his friend to understand what was really happening, he would have lost the friend. So the student felt trust or intention of that friend and then try to see what is this reason for this lack of competence. So doubt or intention is a major reason for problems in a relationship. So do you also have such incidents to relate? Do you also have this breakage of some relationship because of this, because of lack of this understanding? I will say misunderstanding. Can we also relate to this particular proposal that the evaluation of myself is on the basis of my natural acceptance or intention, but the evaluation, when I evaluate the other, mostly I evaluate the other on the basis of their competence, thinking that this competence is the lack of rather this lack of competence as their lack of intention. Yeah. Jagdish is typing, most intentional issues start from parenting. Yeah, very true. So parents as adults, we have a lot of preconditionings for sure. And when we discuss something with our children, these preconditionings are passed automatically, or rather we say naturally. And the children may think that these are the acceptances, as Girish Bhaiya was telling earlier. So these are the acceptances. They may think that these are the natural acceptances, but in fact, they didn't explore. They didn't evaluate these, whatever the parents are telling. So they can evaluate it on their own and they can find that some of them are not natural acceptance and some of the discussions were following natural acceptance. So whatever is following their natural acceptance, they no longer be their preconditioning or sensation. They will be part of their natural acceptance only. But if they can find that something is not matching with their natural acceptance, then they can discard that because that is not right for them. So doubt on intention is a major reason for problems in relationship. So we have to work upon this. And I would say after attending all these workshops and conducting many workshops, this is very important for me also. Doubt on intention. Evaluation is required for me as well as evaluation is required for the other also. When I evaluate myself on the basis of intention, I can't evaluate the other also on the basis of the intention. So this is discussions for students. So we have a discussion on this anger, reason, and maybe a resolution. So anger arises when we are not able to differentiate between intention and competence of the other. Based on lack of competence of the other, we doubt over their intention. So that is what is happening usually. When we cannot see the intention of the other is same as that of mine, and when we evaluate the other on the basis of their competence, thinking that the competence is their lack of competence is the lack of intention, this happens, anger happens. I doubt their intention and I shout upon the other. But as a resolution, we can say if I understand the human being correctly, then I'm able to see that the other is a human being like me. Other is also, I am also a coexistence of self and body, and the other is also another self and another body in coexistence. So this lack of competence as I have within me, the other also is having this lack of competence. But as I never doubt my intention, as I have my intention very pure, the other is also having this pure intention. then what is the reason for me to be angry with the other person? Once we have this doubt on intention of the other, then instead of relating to the other, we feel opposition to the other. That is when I am getting this angry. Thus, any small unfavorable incidents may lead to irritation or even anger. So when the other is providing me a favorable environment, I'm comfortable and I'm speaking to him or behaving with him nicely. But when this situation which he creates for me is not favorable, suppose when he is shouting upon me, or the situation which is created is not favorable to me, I may be angry upon the other person because the situation changed. So if the trust is based on events, it is assuming trust, I would say. If the trust is unconditional, that is understanding that the intention of the other is same as that of mine. And also the other is a human being like me. He will be having this lack of competence. I also have lack of competence. This is understanding trust. The other self has the intention, that is natural acceptance, to be happy and make the other happy, just like me. When I can see that the other is a human being like me, I can also see this intention part. Yeah, the other may be lacking in competence to fulfill their intention, just like I'm lacking in competence. And we are both trying to improve our competence. That's what we are doing. Every time we are trying to improve our competence, we are trying to improve our sanskar. So we can be complementary to each other in helping each other to improve the competence, to help each other to improve the competence. As Ranganathji was telling a few minutes before, helping to improve the competence of the other. That is what I can do, and that is my role. Jagdish is typing in the chat box, how to prove trust when intention is questioned. When intention of myself is questioned, I can see that this is because of the lack of competence in the other. What do you think? But do you doubt the intention of the other person in that case? That is very important. Whether this feeling of trust is ensured within you, whether this feeling of trust is ensured within me, this is very important than what the other person is doing. The intention may be questioned by the other person. That is fine, that because the other person is having the lack of understanding. And this lack of understanding is because of lack of competence. Lack of understanding is leading to lack of competence, I would say. Yeah, anger is, seed is planted and it will grow. Yes. So this is a lack of competence. Are you able to see that? Anger as a seed and it is growing. I can see for myself that I have been a person who was, I would say, who has short-tempered. In many occasions, spontaneously, I reacted to many people. But that never solved any problem for me. Any kind of situation was favorable to me because of that reaction. I could see this now. Now I can see this lack of competence in the other person. And what is my role? My role is to help them. That is all. Not to be angry upon them. What only after seeing that the other is in relationship with me, not before that. Chitraji is asking how to apply this practically. First of all, the first thing is I have to make sure within that the feeling of trust is there. The feelings are within myself. And to the other person, I can express it. Yeah. Chitraji, you want to speak? Yeah, mic is passed to you now.
Yes, sir. I are giving the explanation. Even if we know this, when a situation came, we couldn't handle that, right? So just give a suggestion how to face the situations, the reality, with suitable examples.
Yeah, you can give an example. I can just explore upon that. Suppose somebody is shouting upon me. I can take that example for the time being. There is a limitation of time also. So somebody is shouting upon me. What do I do? This is my choice. I can shout back is my choice. I can keep quiet is also my choice. I can keep smiling upon the other person is also my choice. There are several ways I can respond or react. So if I shout back, let us take the first choice. If I shout back, what is going to be the result of that, outcome of that? If I shout back, then he's already shouting to me. When I shout, I'm also not listening, and he is also not listening. Rather, we are focusing upon this shouting part. Nobody is listening. Everyone is just telling. And that is not going to solve the issue. It is going to rather accentuate or escalate the issue. But on the other hand, if I can just wait for some time till this shouting comes down, and if I have a feeling of relationship with the other person, maybe I can sit down with him for some time and discuss the matter with a feeling of relationship. That's very important. I may be able to help him to resolve it. May not be able to resolve that by myself, but I can be able to help him to resolve it. That's what I say. And if I am able to help him, this is helping him to improve his competence. And in that way, my competence is also improved. So that if some specific examples can be given, you can rather explore for yourself also how to come out of this. Now there is a lack of time. The time which is allotted to us already over, but we will take quickly Girish ji's question also. Girish ji.
Actually, sorry for that. I also just saw the time. It is 8:31. Actually, since this was put up, right, I just want to, I will make it in a 1 minute maximum. What happened is yesterday or 2 days back, one parent came to my office and started shouting straight away that how you can do like this, like that. He started with the two parents were there of two different kids. Like then after entering, I just asked him, okay, to sit. Then also he was not calming down. He was going on talking. Then finally, the major concern what he was raising is they are not paid the fee on the registration day or re-registration day. The next day, actually, it was told that the student went home around lunchtime and told that there is no classes happening because fee is not paid. And father was very much agitated that how you can do like that, because if all this time you are paying the fees and one day fee is missed, how can you not take classes? So this is the major agenda he was telling, and he was just shouting without getting it. Then I simply asked what the student has come and told you in the house. Then he told that classes are not going to be there because fee is not paid. Then I told, okay, he has told that, okay, let us accept that he has told the truth because he is your son and you always believe that there is a truth. And even in the class also we have told something different, but he would have just twisted it a bit for his advantage. How will you know that? Then he just calmed down. Then he told what you had told in the class or what was told to them. So likewise, then the whole thing changed, and then he was starting to listen. But here the major thing what is happening is whenever another person is anger, there will be always a reason behind it. That is always I feel like. Whenever, if you understand the reason, then you can actually correct that one, or you can find a solution for it. Sometimes another way what is happening is if you are shouting and the police officer is coming over and he just shout at you, naturally you will keep quiet. Or if you are in the college and the vice chancellor is coming over there, and even if he hears, he don't have to shout. In his presence itself, the entire shouting will be over because the authority matters over there. Because same way in different styles, because if a peon is coming, then or maybe the person who is getting affected, his close friend is there, again it may be going in different ways. So what is happening is depending on the scenario, anger can actually be used like an instrument, because like Chinmayan, they used to tell that because anger is always in my pocket. I used to take it out when I need it, then I keep it back. So it's like an acting, because many times you may have to act anger, because that is one of the most powerful weapon a human being is having, because other than beating or maybe using physical means, but otherwise anger is the most powerful weapon in that way, but it can be most destructive also, just like fire. This is what just I wanted to share, because I don't want to prolong further. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Nice. So we have a limitation of time, but we have to explore upon this, whether anger is naturally acceptable to me or not, whether it is actually anger when I say something, or when I just raise my voice, it is not always anger. So we have to explore upon this in detail. So anger is absence of this affection. In fact, anger is, if it is leading towards opposition, are we able to see that it is absence of affection? So we will explore regarding this in detail in the next Wednesday session. There are more questions also in the chat box by Jagadish ji. So we can discuss regarding these questions in the next Wednesday's meeting. Thank you all, dear co-explorers, for your active participation. Very nice questions and nice sharings by many of you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Parishit Bhaiya. Namaste.
Thank you everybody for this participation, and thank you Sunil Bhaiya for this enriching and informative session. And we certainly like to have more such sessions. We'll meet again for more and more such healthy discussion and exploration next Wednesday again, 7:30. So till then, keep exploring and contributing. Thank you everybody.